Now, switching topics a bit, do you ever feel like you aren't as successful in your personal or professional life as you'd like to be? Well, there are several issues that could be coming into play, and believe it or not, one of them is your mouth. Well, your mouth says more about you than you may think. In fact, not only does your oral health impact the way others view you, it may have an effect on getting hired or promoted, or even finding success in a romantic relationship. Relationship expert and best-selling author Dr. Gail Saltz joins us this morning to discuss some of the surprising things your mouth tells the world about you. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be with you.
So, Doctor, there was actually a recent national survey that came out kind of telling us how our mouths affect how people perceive us. What are some of the key findings of that study?
So I paired with Listerine to talk about this study, which looked at the large number of Americans, their impact of oral health and oral hygiene on the social and emotional elements of their lives. So we could be talking about relationships, both romantic, friendships, but also there was a significant impact on career as well. So issues like going in to get a job, doing a job interview, trying to have a talk at the job, asking for a promotion in the job. All these things were really impacted by oral health.
And so when you're saying oral health, are we talking about what we're seeing in our smile? Are we talking about our breath?
Both. So everything to do with your mouth. So that could be like, right, do you have yellow teeth, missing teeth, receding gums, bad breath? All of these things create an image for people, and it affects your self-confidence, and it also affects the way others perceive you. So people tended to, in the survey, perceive those who had one of these issues going on as maybe not being concerned about their grooming, having a health issue, for example. Issues of bad breath definitely affect attraction to someone. So, for example, 7 out of 10 people said that bad breath was actually a deal breaker in a relationship for them.
I have to say, I completely agree with that, as horrible as that may sound. But, you know, I think a lot of these things that you're listing, a lot of these issues that people have are due to something called oral disease. So, doctor, how common is oral disease?
Well, actually, the survey found that 8 in 10 people think that they have fantastic oral health, but the reality is that most people do have some sort of oral health issue. So, you know, obviously there's a degree of severity. Some people not so much, and some people quite a bit. But the reality is that most people have some issue going on, and something that they can and should attend to.
That's scary. Most people have oral health issues. So tell us, doctor, how can we prevent them?
Well, prevention is actually very key, and you can really take matters into your own hands. You can see your dentist twice a year. You can use therapeutic products like Listerine on a daily basis. And the idea being that you can do things that are easily available to you, but it's a matter of making a behavior change. It's a matter of increasing your awareness. And it's also, to some degree, and the reason I appreciate this survey being done, it's a matter of talking about it and thinking about it, because we haven't talked about these issues. Stigma still keeps us from talking about oral health very much, but really, your oral health is like the health of any other part of your body. We should be talking about it. We should be addressing it. And let's face it, you can't tell sometimes if you have bad breath. And because of stigma, people tend not to tell you. So the reality is most of us are dealing with it. Then most of us should be attending to it, because as I mentioned earlier, it does impact the way that the world perceives you, and it definitely can impact your relationships.
Absolutely. Doctor, some very eye-opening results this morning. I'm really glad you're here to share them with our viewers. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with this morning?
Well, I think that if people are interested in some more of the survey results or some more information, because there were quite a few interesting statistics, they can go to Listerine.com.
Absolutely. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now stay where you are. The Morning Blend will be right back.